This is the Fredericksburg Neighbors Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Dory Stewart.
Welcome to another episode of the Fredericksburg Neighbors Podcast. Today we have a fantastic neighbor to introduce you to. Julie Birt is a mortgage officer with Mortgage Network Solutions. Julie, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, good morning, Dory. I really want to thank you and your team for the opportunity to tell our neighbors about my work as a mortgage officer in the area.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you being on the show. So let's start off by sharing with the listeners. Tell us a little bit about your business and the services you offer.
Certainly, Dory. Thank you. You know, I'm a licensed mortgage loan originator or mortgage officer here in Virginia. I really want to focus in the Stafford, Spotsylvania, and Fredericksburg area. Therefore, that gives me a chance to actually go meet the customers and clients and work through any issues we have. Because when you buy a house, that's like one of the biggest purchases most people will experience in their life. And it's very daunting for some. So I am sponsored. You mentioned them, Mortgage Network Solutions. It's a small family company based in Delaware. They are licensed in 14 states around the country. Virginia being one of them, and I chose to only be licensed in Virginia. I'm not trying to expand the network beyond. Just to let you know, mortgage loan originators is what we call mortgage officers. You'll have mortgage brokers. It's a highly regulated industry. You must pass a test. Ever since the 2008 crash that caused too many loans to be offered, more regulations came in, more testing, and the national or multi-state licensing system requires that mortgage officers pass the test. And then for me, I'm sponsored into Mortgage Network Solutions as one of their mortgage loan originators or mortgage officers.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I can tell you a little bit more, just real quick. So we strive to educate the customers. Like you'll see some of these bigger companies, it's more like a churning system where, hey, next one in, let's get them processed and out, fast processing, good. But, you know, when you're making the biggest purchase of your life, it's really good to be able to ask questions, not only about the interest rates and what my payment's going to be, but what type of loans are there? There's a lot of different types of loans out there. And there might be a better loan for a buyer than one other type of loan. So this is where the company that I work for, I kind of interviewed with them, but I interviewed them while I was interviewing. I thought, this is the one I really want to work with because I feel like they're taking time with the clients. It's all about that follow-on conversation as the customer is really intending to buy to keep them informed going along.
That's awesome. I love that you take a lot of pride in the education part of it. That's huge. So yeah, like you mentioned, it's the largest purchase someone's going to make. So your clients are lucky to have you. So tell us, how did you get into this industry? Tell us the backstory.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I didn't want to say too much about, I was federal employee for over 30 years in uniform and then as a civil servant. And I'm just not done working, and my friends and family say, you're never going to stop working. So I think I got the bug with housing way back when I was a kid. My father, he put additions on the house that we were initially in, and then they built a house. So when I was a teenager, he was giving the kids the hammers and telling us to go help hang drywall, learn how to paint, do this and that. And just seeing something go from nothing to something in that construction and the renovation process has really got me going. And as I moved on with my career, I tried a flip property. I've been a landlord. I'm an HGTV junkie. I really love the renovation shows in particular. It's something about those. Construction shows are cool. House hunters, okay. But when you're taking a property that somebody's been in and they just kind of fall out of love with it, and then it gets renovated and they're like, oh, this is so amazing. You fall back in love with your house again, right? And there's just something cool about that. And I thought, well, of all the things in this industry that I could do, this feels like it's the right place for me in my career right now, is to have a little bit of flexibility. I can work with the client in the evening. We can work on their timeline, and that's kind of my journey, is why I'm here right now. I'm really hoping that I can continue to help these clients along, and they end up with something on the back end that they're just thrilled with having. When you can call it a house your own, that's just something.
Nice. Awesome. I love that. So do you find that there are any myths or misconceptions about your industry?
I think in general, Dory, there's confusion on. I'm a mortgage broker, so we have a wide range of non-bank lenders that we use in the system. The top one in the country, United Wholesale Mortgage, and then a whole list of the top 10 we're affiliated with. Not affiliated in the sense that there's a trade-off in partnership, but I don't know how to better explain that. But that we can use their services. We go to them and look for the best rates and the best type of loans available for the client based on their situation. So with mortgage brokers, I've heard more than I've been directly a party to from somebody telling me, well, you're a mortgage broker, this, that. But there's been some misconceptions that mortgage brokers only work with those with the poorest of credit. Certainly not true. We can work with anybody. I can do construction loan or commercial loans across the country.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, you don't have to be particularly licensed in an area. I can do a commercial loan anywhere. But I really want to stay focused in this area here with home loans in particular. But a wide range investors can come to me, and there's things like called DSCR. So as far as the misconceptions go, that's one thing, is that there's probably confusion on people used to go to the banks back in the day, right? And it was only a bank, and that's where you got your loan and stayed with the bank. Well, over time, non-bank lenders have grown and grown. And at one point, I read a statistic that showed like 60% of the mortgage industry now is made up of non-bank lenders.
Interesting.
And they are the ones that will take the final risk. They're underwriters. So I do a lot of the front end work, figuring out your debt to income, your loan to value. So you're going to do a loan. What's the value of the property? What's that percentage? What's your debt to your income? Are you able to afford the house? Where can we get you in an affordable property? Those kind of things. I was thinking about one other thing as far as a misconception, and sometimes I was reading about this, Dory, frankly, when the question came up, is that mortgage brokers might cost more money. Not really true. You can shop around, certainly, and that's the great thing about this industry for the buyers out there. They can shop around. They can ask me. I can give them a variety of different loans and the options available to them. They can go to the bank. Certainly, there's some concerns of how far a borrower wants to take that review, because once we go into what's called a hard credit pull, that's pulling all 3 credit reports, and that does affect credit. So you want to be careful how much you're getting into the credit reports for that deep pull to pull down the credit a little bit. We can do what's called a really soft pull, and it doesn't affect the credit. Or we can look at like Credit Karma or something and just kind of get an idea of where you're at, because that credit, along with your income, how many debts you have that are reported to the credit agencies, all come into play. That's a little bit more than just the misconception question you have, but just to let the listeners know that the mortgage brokers have the ability to give you a lot of options.
Thank you for sharing that. I imagine you helped a lot of people. So thank you for that.
Okay, thank you.
So you had mentioned that you can't imagine, not working at all. So when you're not working, clearly you work hard for your clients. What are you doing for fun?
I tell you what, settling into the Fredericksburg area has been really enjoyable. I love downtown. It's just so cool to walk in Old Town, the history that we have. But just this location, a couple hours east and you're on the Atlantic Ocean at the beach. Another hour or 2 west and you've got the Appalachian Mountain Trail and just the elevations out there. As far as nature goes, like to do that, get out. Plenty going on around the house, out my back window here. Um, there's plenty of things that happened as far as gardening and just trying to keep the plants alive and growing as it goes along. So whether that's fun or not, I do enjoy it to a point. It's nice to get out in the air and just be out there working. We get together with the family gets together with friends in the area. We like to get out for lunches and the wineries and playing card games. Whether that's an old person sport or not, but I am getting up there. We love that. I will say I enjoy being connected to this community. I am a volunteer for Fredericksburg Tree Stewards. We have helped plant trees around the area. We go out and mulch the playgrounds and things like that. We do tree giveaways. And also, since I retired out of full-time work with the government side of the house, I work with Fredericksburg Food Bank occasionally as well. Helping whether it's a mobile pantry for those that are in need for some food, or as we get donations in from the stores and from people in the community, sorting out the food and getting that boxed up for churches and other entities to come pick up from the food bank.
That's wonderful. Thank you for all that you do for the community. That's amazing. That's awesome. So switching gears a little bit, is there a challenge or a struggle that you have encountered that you feel like you overcame and you're now stronger because of it?
Oh, well, I feel like, I've been blessed overall, I think. When I look back, sure, there's been challenges, but, I've seen a lot of things around the world. I just don't feel like I've had the challenges that other people have sometimes. I feel blessed, and I probably should have said, Dory, I don't really have much to say. I mean, for me to be challenged, yeah, physical challenges, going through the Air Force way back in the day, and making that happen and passing physical fitness test and making Air Force a career for a while. That was a great challenge. But yeah, when I think about people around the world, I feel like my challenges sometimes are minuscule compared to what maybe some other folks are facing. But there's challenges all the time. There's roadblocks we face, and then how we decide we're gonna try to work through those roadblocks, whether it's a get around or over or under or something. It just happens. That's life, and much like this business, we find in this business that you are working through with people that are going through various challenges. Correct. So,
Yeah.
We're here to help them try to get through those so that they can experience home ownership. And but you do see life in this job and the challenges that people are working through.
Well, I love your perspective. I love your answer to that question, because you have a perspective of gratitude and the understanding that, that things could be worse, and there are people going through some, pretty deep, heavy things. So I love your answer and your perspective on that. So thank you.
Yeah, certainly blessed, Dory.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, so is there anything that you would like the listeners, beyond, everything we've already discussed, that you'd like them to know about your business?
Yeah, I'd say, as clients reach out to me, I want them to know that I'm here for them. My own personal experience when I did a refinance on the house is that I didn't understand all the moving pieces and parts of that refinance. And I got upset when I was not getting communication. And I don't want to be that person for my customers. I want to communicate as much as they need. If they have questions, and even on Facebook, I'm seeing that there's questions being asked on some of the group sites where it's housing, like, hey, how often should my loan officer be talking to me? I'm not hearing anything. That's not a good way to go. So I will say to the folks out there that, we can work up the schedule, whether it's, after dinner at night, say probably up to 8 o'clock in the evening, early in the morning, no problem. Lunchtime, come physically visit, and we can sit down and go over stuff on the computer. So you see how numbers are working. when it comes to a loan, Zoom chats, what have you. I want to be here for them. I'm not trying to churn out hundreds of loans at a time and just forget about you and pass you to underwriter. As loans go through underwriting, I am the one that's lead. My NMLS number, the multi-state licensing number that I have for Virginia, goes on that loan. So it's important to me that we get it right. We try to get those numbers expressed directly to you, what your expectations are for what you're going to be paying.
Thank you for thinking a lot about the customer experience. I imagine your clients very much appreciate that, because you're right. There are others out there that can make someone feel like they've kind of been forgotten about. So I appreciate you thinking about your client's experience. So that's awesome. I commend you for that. So thank you so much for joining me on the podcast. Where can my listeners learn more about you, connect with you? Where can they find you?
Well, certainly. First of all, Fredericksburg Neighbors, Dory, appreciate the publication that you all have. I saw my information was posted out there as you're highlighting 30 women entrepreneurs in the area this month. Plus, I do have an ad in Fredericksburg Neighbors. I am on Military by Owner for those that might be hearing this podcast. Right now, the information is posted in the Pentagon page, but I might be moving that down to Quantico. We have loan officers up in the Pentagon area to handle that area. I do say, I want to add, Dory, that probably in July or August, I don't have the date set yet, and I'm trying to wrap my head around the concept I want to go with, but you think about educating. I want to get with the Fredericksburg Library and probably the one downtown and see if I can get a room. Hopefully they'll allow me to have donuts and coffee in there, frankly, and do probably a Saturday morning, probably 9 or 10 o'clock, whether it's called a first-time homebuyers session or, home mortgage 101, kind of step through all the people that are a part of the mortgage process, what you should be doing, why an appraisal is important, why a home inspection is important. What is underwriting? What is that? Why is that different than a mortgage officer? So just let them know I'm kicking that around. My business cards are at Agora Coffee downtown Fredericksburg. I've posted some stuff as able, like at the community center, Dorothy Hart Community Center. I had to post it on their board there. Mostly I'm on the Fredericksburg or the Facebook groups, chat areas, and I'm just trying to figure out how best to market myself here in the Fredericksburg area.
Awesome. I will include all of your links in our show notes so the listeners can find you. Julie, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today and sharing your wisdom with us.
Thank you, Dory. I really appreciate your time and support to all the local businesses in the area.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Fredericksburg Neighbors Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to fxbgneighborspodcast.com. That's fxbgneighborspodcast.com or call 540-534-4618.